a representative or senator, then help us by calling yours and asking he or she listen to our audio, read our articles, and change laws as laid out in our political objectives. You can change a country from your place in society. Never give up or think you make no impact. America needs people, common people, just like yourself, to support your legislators, inform them of your wishes, and to stand up for the truth. You have the power to vote, to sit on jury, to run for office, and change a nation. All it takes for evil to triumph is for you to do no thing. You're the citizen. You hold the most power in this country. Use it. Call them. Tell them to go to exfelon.biz and form laws based on our political objectives. If you are a senator or representative, please listen. North Carolina allows ex-felons to own, buy, or carry antique or replica firearms, muzzleloaders, which are firearms which require powder, ball, and cap loading. They may lawfully own and carry any pistol, shotgun, or rifle. Muzzleloader firearms are not considered firearms by the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency, and can be bought through the U.S. mail for self-defense, protection of their family and property. North Carolina recognized the need for ex-felons to be able to defend themselves, so North Carolina permits ex-felons to own muzzleloader firearms. We wish to import this basic Second Amendment right to bear arms for these people to all states, recognizing the statistics that tens of thousands of ex-felons live in your state, in society, with families, jobs, homes, yet cannot defend their lives. Your state may be one of those states who do this. Note that 75% of ex-felons who stay out 5 years after completing their sentence or parole stay out for good. These are the ones we're concerned with. The persons who forget their past, move on, and it's been years since this person has gotten into trouble. Our mission is to standardize nationally, state by state, with this muzzleloader firearms permitted to ex-felons, and prevent any federal gun laws which would deny ex-felons the right to bear arms lawfully for self-defense. We ask you read our written articles and political objectives and to contact us at the address below at your screen, and let us know which political objective you disagree with. Also, if government isn't prohibited from releasing criminal records to the public, these criminal background checks are going to push convicted felons, ex-felons, into violence against government officials and crimes against the general public. Fingerprints run through NCIC federal records is the only accurate way to determine if a person has a criminal past history. The FBI and state authorities must be, by legislative action, prohibited from releasing criminal history of persons who have passed 5 years since his release from incarceration or parole. This is our goal: true civil rights, true constitutional freedoms for all, or we will end up in a communist country. There must also be a sealing of the records of ex-felons after 5 years of staying out of prison or parole. The government is going to have to prevent the job market and housing from using criminal background checks. This only drives ex-felons into violence and crime by preventing them from obtaining these two necessities of life. Remember, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, the use of criminal background checks did not exist. With it, there is an increase in crime and more violent types of crime at that. Also, we have to prevent police from breaking the law to so-called enforce it. When female police officers pose as 14-year-old promiscuous girls on the internet, they entrap men, encouraging them to sexually make advances at them. They create the atmosphere of sexual immorality, then indict him on a crime. We need to roll back the age of consent to 14 years of age and stop posing as 13-year-old sexy invites. Many men are merely curious, then they are indicted as sex predators, stripping them of all their citizenship and constitutional rights as registered sex offenders, ruined for the rest of their life for talking to a police officer. We have empowered women and children with the unconstitutional power of being able to walk into a courtroom and on just their statement alone convict any man of sexual assault. There's no safeguards or hurdles to jump over to prevent liars from doing this. Embittered women or children mad or who hate their daddy has a tool to tear down men. We must stop the state-sanctioned assassination of men and attack on good men by wicked women and children. We must also completely restore ex-felons' right to sit on jury, run for office, own firearms, and vote as soon as 5 years has passed since his getting off of parole or out of prison. These people very rarely commit more crimes, live in our society, yet are denied their constitutional rights, mandatory pardons to all via the legislation. We are also attempting to start a movement, county by county, of the area's churches, that churches would unite in their county and appoint a director over their homes for ex-felons, that any ex-felon may come to a home built for felons, that they will be fined free food, rent, transportation, that these residents will be referred to and hired by local businesses who took to the job and be able to keep all their money earnings, with no limitations on the amount of time one may stay. Also, tens of thousands of persons with mental illness live in our society daily without committing violent crimes with firearms, and are in need of the right to bear arms like every other American citizen for their protection and family. We must limit any denial of the right to own firearms to only the few a judge has committed into a mental institution for his own protection or protection of others. Not extend this to those who are rendered disabled and can't work, or outpatients seeing a physician. Please call your senator, your representative, both state and federal. Freedom is free. It's a gift God gave all people through the Constitution. If you're going to live in peace, you're going to have to stand up for the least of the people's freedoms in our society. You may be there tomorrow.